welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is a TV review of season 6, the final season of House of Cards. Micah, you finally finished watching this. I have finished watching this as well. What are your overall thoughts? Because this is the big season where Claire gets to take over. By the way, let me just, before we even go any further, we're going to talk spoilers.
Yeah, look, it's been out since the beginning of November. It's now the end of November as we are recording this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk spoilers. I mean, I have to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really talk about the season without it.
Right.
And this is the season that Kevin Spacey was fired from, so he does not make an appearance in any formal way.
Right.
All right, so your thoughts on the season?
I cannot express to you how disappointed I am with this season.
That's interesting. I hated the end of it.
I hated the majority of it, and the ending pissed me off. Like, I was so upset about the ending.
Yeah.
The writing was all over the place. Like, look, House of Cards has always been ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's relatively true.
But they've always been able to focus the ridiculousness to a point. Mm-hmm. And things were easy to follow. Yeah. This is not easy to follow. The writing is all over the place. There are too many plot threads, none of which, except for one, gets resolved.
I'd be interested to hear which one that is, because I'm not even sure that there are any.
And even and even then, it's not. It leaves much to be desired.
So okay, let me ask you this: would this have worked better if you knew there was another season in the pipe? Because to me, it felt like, oh, all right, well, like we'll get to that. Okay, we'll get it. Are we going to get to that? Because there's only 8 episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
This, I mean, if I knew there was another season, it would still be a bad season. Okay. But
this is the worst season, you think?
Yeah, but by far.
Wow. Okay.
By far. And part of it is, look, they should not have done this season, or they should have taken this opportunity to do a soft reboot and
with a new actor.
No, not even with a new actor. Same cast, same actor, all that. Let go of the past. Frank is dead in this season. Every episode you're talking about him.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. He was a big figure, right? Yeah. But it's very difficult to talk about Frank when you can't have Kevin Spacey there.
Yeah, you can't even show him, really.
You can't even hear him. One of the MacGuffins in the show were recordings from Frank. You can't even hear him.
Yeah, that was, to me, that's a little ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and Doug's got the things, and the reporter is like, well, can I at least hear it? She's like, no, you can't hear it. This is only mine to hear. Like, all of the characters are stupid now. Like,
yeah, I would agree with. Like, okay, so overall, I liked the season because I liked the battle between Claire and the Shepards. That to me was the best dynamic. Like her and Diane Lane's character was really good. But there's a lot to be desired in this season. I agree with you. I think it is the worst season.
It is horrible, man. Look, you mentioned the Shepards, right? You mentioned the Shepards. And all right, Claire needs a foil, right? Claire needs a foil. Let's just grab 2 siblings from nowhere. It feels like there was a lost season in between season 5 and season 6.
I agree with that.
We're just meeting these Shepherd people, and we're expected to be invested in them. Like, look, Claire and Annette Shepherd, they go well battling each other. But what are they battling for?
It's like, who is the more powerful white woman in this series of all powerful white women?
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Claire, I cannot express to you, look, I know people are going to give this a pass because, it's Claire's turn. And I was all about that, right? I was all about, it's Claire's turn.
Oh, absolutely, right? Yeah.
They made Claire an idiot. They made her a dummy.
I think in the beginning they did. And then they made her, like, she went from being, like, kind of stupid, which partially was, like, on purpose, like, as a ruse, I guess.
Yeah.
But then the switch, which was a pretty big switch, which I enjoyed in the season. I mean, we'll talk about that scene. The here's my cabinet. I mean, that was like a 180, right? Yeah. But after that, like, what they did was they made her, like, she had, like, a bloodlust. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, where she's been this cold, calculating person the entire series. Like, she suddenly was like, I'm out for blood. I was like, that's not her character at all.
That's not her, yo. Like Frank would always he would always come up with some harebrained scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
And if he was stuck on something, he would go to Claire because Claire was the smart, tactical one.
Yeah.
Right? Now Claire's just a fucking idiot, and she doesn't know what to do about anything. Oh, the oligarchs are talking bad about me. What do I do to distract them from this? Let's start a nuclear war.
Yeah, that made no sense.
What?
Yeah, that made no sense.
And that was never resolved.
No, and that was the thing. I was like, okay, like, we're down to the wire. Like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like, are they going to go to war? Are they not going to go to war? And it was just like, and House of Cards is over. I was like, or House of Cards is over. I was
what
like,
the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Look, I hated the ending.
The ending was the worst of all. The ending was the corn on top of the shit sundae that this season was.
Yeah, like her killing Doug. You know, again, we're talking spoilers. Her killing Doug was like, okay, that's fine, and that should probably have happened. But like, how you gonna work your way out of that one? I guess
how you gonna get out of the White House, yo?
Right?
How are you going to continue to be the president?
Like, you murdered that guy.
You murdered somebody
in the Oval Office.
You murdered him. Look, bam, you're stabbed. Oh, and now I'm making sure to murder you, right? Because it's not self-defense now. Now it's full-blown murder, right?
Yeah.
Do you just govern the next day after that?
No, you just go back to work.
Nah, yo. Nah.
There's going to be investigations. I feel like.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to be the president anymore. Yeah. Why does she want to be president? What was her aim this season?
Yeah, that's true. Like, she needed something. She needed a point to get to. I wanted her to, like, take power. Okay, so this is going to be slightly biased because it's, like, of what I would have liked to see. I wanted to see her take power and then become this actual great president. Right? But just ruthless, right? Because that would have actually made sense. Like, she thwarts off the Shepards and she ends up, like, being this super popular president and, like, wow, she's amazing and all that stuff. But, like, underneath, yeah, she's still, like, this total scumbag.
Yeah, like, she's a character where the ends justify the means.
Right, exactly. So, but they never did that. Like, she never became particularly all that popular. She kind of was just middling, like Frank kind of was, until like 50-50. Like, I would have liked to see some sort of situation, like, even if they had done the nuclear war thing or like some sort of strike where it was like 9/11, where George W. Bush was like super popular for a moment, right? And she could capture that to do some other stuff that she wanted to do, and she becomes this powerful person. But no, it was all for naught. Like, and it shouldn't have been 8 episodes.
No,
like, I don't know why they cut the season short.
This was the one time I actually wanted more of a Netflix series, because just all the shit that they set up and just like, no, all right. What happens with the Shepards? I'm assuming Bill dies.
Right, like they didn't, like there was no result. Right.
Annette's there. Okay. What happened to Annette's son? They made a big deal about that. Oh, why don't you ask your mom where you're from, huh? Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, Mom, am I the product of you and Uncle Bill's incest? Let's not talk about that right now.
Was that what it was?
We don't know.
I thought that was Frank's kid.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's Frank's kid.
I think it's their incestual child, because
their relationship was weird.
Their relationship was really weird. I have a sister. I don't. No.
It was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like a lot of the time. I was like, he needs to die soon.
Honestly,
of cancer.
Honestly, I don't know why the Shepards being there didn't really make sense.
But
right?
you know why they're there, right? So they're supposed to be the American oligarchs, right?
Yeah.
Like they spent a lot of time this season sort of being like ripped from the headlines kind of story driven stuff. Like, here are the American oligarchs. You got your Vladimir Putin analog, you know what I mean? So they kept doing that, which is fine, but it didn't stick the landing a lot of times.
You want to do an American oligarchy? Bring back Raymond Tusk.
Yeah, he was a part of the American oligarch.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
Wouldn't that make much more sense?
Yeah.
You have history there.
Right. Like
then you can easily write like Greg Kinnear's like, well, Frank made deals. What? No, he didn't.
Like what deals?
What deals? What are you talking about?
Right. And that was the thing is like the Shepards should have been introduced in the previous season, right? Mm-hmm. Like what would have actually made sense? And I understand they probably Flash wrote this new season because Spacey's gone. They're like, shit, we had this plan, now we have to do this different plan. But like it feels like the Shepards were kind of tacked on, which is unfortunate because I think they could have been really interesting villains. But what they should have done is they should have been introduced in the last season as their friends, these powerful friends that they have, right? Yeah. They got a little bit of contention, but they're their powerful friends. Then in the 6th season, when Frank's gone, they're like, yo, time to take over, right? Like
because Frank was already, in trouble in prison or whatever. He wasn't the president, right? So you could still have Frank being on the sidelines.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
Right. And now that he's actually gone, okay, well, at least it would have made a little more sense. It would have flowed a little better.
Yeah,
I think what
they kind of came out of nowhere.
I think what they were aiming for, if Kevin Spacey wasn't a dickhead, is that once Claire got into power, she didn't want to give it up, and then it would be Frank versus Claire.
Yes, I think
that would have been great, right?
That's the series ender.
Right. That's the series ender.
And her killing Frank in the Oval Office.
Right.
That actually would be like, whoa, okay.
Right.
Because you could end it there and you'd be like, oh,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like that's probably exactly what it was.
Right. But
then it became
Kevin
her versus Doug Stamper, which doesn't make any sense.
Right. Look, I understand Doug was loyal to Frank, but Jesus fucking Christ, I'm not that loyal to my dad.
Right.
What the fuck?
Will you try to kill the president? No.
Nah, yo.
I'm not gonna know.
I was very, very disappointed. I didn't want to finish it. I only finished it because my wife was like, let's watch this. And you got to make concessions and shit. Like, nah, yo. That's why it took me so long to finish
I was like, why is it? It's like 8 episodes. It's like,
right.
Yeah, I finished this like pretty fast.
Nah, I did not care for this season at all.
It's a disappointing ending to a show that I absolutely loved.
Yeah, man. And look, it's had its ups and downs and stuff like that.
Without a doubt.
But this, I mean, way to shit the bed, man.
Well, and it's just because I think they were trying to keep the same release date as they had originally planned, instead of they should have taken a year off.
They should have, man.
To really rewrite the story and make it well, or just replace Frank as an actor. Just replace him with that other old white dude they put in his other movie he was supposed to be in, right?
Yeah,
like this guy. Right? But like you could just put a different actor there, and people would have accepted it. I mean, like it is what it is.
Right, it is what it is. If you know this is going to be your last season,
yeah, you can throw him in there.
Right, or you got to do a better job writing. You can't have this character be gone and then revolve the show around him.
Death, yeah. Well, and also, I have to say, Diane Lane and Greg Kinnear are such great actors. They are wasted on the season. Those characters deserve to be in this show ahead of time because they were fascinating. Like Greg Kinnear is a great fucking actor. Anytime he shows up, I'm like, oh, Greg Kinnear's in it. Like he's gonna be really good, and he is really good.
Yeah,
like he's got that way about his character has that way about him where he's like this ultra patriotic guy, but he also like doesn't really give a fuck about the rules because he believes in his own rules for the presidency. And so he's like, look, yeah, I get it. Those are the rules for everybody else. They're not for me.
Right.
This is why we're here. This is why I'm rich, I'm powerful, so I should get to dictate these kind of things. So he was fascinating, but yeah, they should have been there earlier.
They should have been there earlier. Yeah. They would have been the perfect foil for that power couple
to have another
Frank and Claire.
Right, because you had them go up against another powerful couple previously. When RoboCop ran for president, right?
Yeah,
as a Republican.
Yeah, but
his wife wasn't. his wife wasn't his equal, right? So it was more him versus Frank. It wasn't so much Frank and Claire versus the two of them. Where these two would have been, you're right, they would have been the perfect foil. Now, what would have been interesting, let's write our dream final season, right? Which is Frank is still there. Frank is alive.
Played by another actor, because you know, whatever.
Yeah, he's got to go. Like, you can't keep Kevin Spacey.
You can't keep Kevin Spacey on, right?
So they're going up against each other, right? Frank and Claire are going up against each other because she don't want to give up the power. Right. She might not pardon him. That's like a dangling thing the whole time, or whatever, right?
Right.
They have their battle, but in the middle of their battle, they got to stop to take on the Shepards. Right. They got to team up one last ride together to take down the Shepards, truly take them down, and then they get back to their shit, and in the end, she ends up killing him in the White House. Right. That's how you fucking end that series.
Yeah, man. Like, you could even have the baby shit thrown in there. Like
yeah, when she tried to kill that baby, not Claire, but I was like, yo, this is
Christ, yo. Like, god damn, like, it's a baby, yo.
She was like, nah, this baby gotta go.
I don't think that was Frank's baby, by the way.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think it was Tom's baby, because remember, you saw they even do it in the recap, right? You see Claire have sex with Tom Yates right before she kills him, and then that was a plot point that kind of went nowhere in this season.
Oh, with the girl and
another loose thread, just you know.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I am very disappointed.
Man, it has so much potential. I was ready for Claire to be the new main character of this thing. And look,
I'm with her. Okay, right. Come on, hello, this is easy. This is
right, and she could have been Republicans' nightmare, right? Like all the evil shit, like you said, but still super effective. Yeah, like the best president they ever had.
Yeah, like, this woman's the next Abraham Lincoln. Meanwhile, she's like killing niggas in the Oval Office.
Right.
Like,
oh, I would have loved it, man.
Yeah, because that is ultimately what Frank and Claire are supposed to be. Right. They're supposed to end up, there's definitely an analog for the Clintons, but they're supposed to be like these wildly popular people, and then everyone else thinks all the crazy conspiracies about the Clintons, but like, these are real. Like, they really do have people murdered and all this other stuff. So yeah, it was just a missed opportunity to do that.
Not only is the writing just fucking terrible. Like, the acting is fine. Everybody knows their character, and even the new characters, they're great actors. Yeah. But the writing is atrocious. The production is, it's shot like a House of Cards show, but I got to tell you, man, all that fucking music, just a lot, just blaring, and even in scenes that it's just like supposed to be quiet. If this series felt more soap opera-y, than any previous season,
it felt more like Scandal than House of Cards.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh God, I hated this season. And I love this show. It's my stupid show, right? Like, I love this stupid ass. This is what I think politics is.
Wow, that's not okay. I mean, I guess it is sort of, but
it is now.
Yeah, in your mind, they're throwing people in front of trains.
Yeah, man. And now
well, it's my view on boxing. I'd rather watch a movie, like a boxing movie, than to actually watch boxing. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Jesus Christ, this was bad, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and it's really disappointing. Okay, that is it for our review of season 6 of House of Cards. Thankfully, it's done.
Yeah.
All right. Major disappointment. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.